Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce my group first. So my name is Nadifa and my friend Dian Fathurrohmah. We would like to explain about modal auxiliaries that the material we got from IC book grammar 2. So we would like to explain about the usage and the situation, and also the form of modal auxiliaries. So let's just go to the point. The first is the definition of modal auxiliaries. So the meaning of modal auxiliary or auxiliaries is an auxiliary verb such as can, must, might, may that is characteristically used with a verb of prediction and expression. Next, the classification table of modal auxiliaries. So the first modal auxiliaries table, there are modal auxiliaries, usage, and also example. So the first is can. The usage of can is ability, and the example, I can do several things at the same time. And then the next, when something is possible. So it is explain the possibility. The example is miracles can happen. And then permission, the example, you can go now. And then informal request, the example, can you come for a minute? Number 2, could. The usage of modal auxiliaries could is the first past form of can. Number 2, polite request, and then possibility 2. The example, she said she could pay for us as well. Number 2, could you move your bag please? And then number 3, possibility, it could be that he missed the train. Number 3, may. The usage are possibility, ask a permission, formal request, and then give a permission. The example, it may rain tomorrow. May I speak? And also, you may go home now. The next is must. The usage of this modal auxiliary are you have to do it, and then it's very logical or very likely to happen. The example, you must obey the law, and then they left so early, they must be home by now. The next is must not or mustn't. The usage of this modal auxiliary is you are not allowed to do it or to do something. The example, you mustn't smoke in here. And the last is should. The usage of this modal auxiliary is the right thing to do, advice, and also what is likely or expected to happen. The example, she should call the police, and then what should I do? And also you should stop thinking about it, and we should be back by midnight. The next is modal auxiliary situation table. The situation, there are some situations like request formal, request informal, request polite, permission formal, permission informal, obligation full or obligation partial, and logical conclusions stronger than modal should. And then the modal, we can see may, can, could, may, can, must, should, must. And the example you can see in my PPT like this. The next, the form of using modal in sentence. And this material will be explained by my friend Dian Fathurrohmah, and let's explain it.
The form of using modal in sentence. Verbal sentence. Subject plus modal plus verb 1 or present form. The form is affirmative. The subject is I, you, we, they, she, he, and it. We can use modal can, could, might, must, should, and we can add verb 1. Example is come. The form negative, the subject is I, you, we, they, she, he, it, and we can add modal cannot, could not, might not, must not, and should not. And we can add verb 1. The example is come. The form interrogative, the subject is can, could, might, must for she, and should. We can add modal I, you, we, they, she, he, it, and the verb is come. For nominal sentence, subject plus modal plus be plus ana, adjective or noun or adverb. The form is affirmative. The subject is I, you, we, they, she, he, it. We can use modal can, could, might, must, should, and we can add be plus ana. The example is be happy. The form negative, the subject is I, you, we, they, she, he, it, and we use modal cannot, could not, might not, must not, should not, and we can add be plus ana. The example is be happy. And then the form is interrogative. The subject is can, could, might, must for she, and should. The modal is I, you, we, they, she, he, it. And then we can add be plus ana. The example is be happy. The next is, for the first is obligation. We use must when we want to do something or feel that we need to do something. Must is also used to explain the regulations. Astronauts must remember to tie themselves down when they sleep. We must not to say that something is against the rules. The second is certainly. Must plus infinitive without to means that something is surely true. The example is which must be an important consideration for the leisure center company. Cannot or cannot plus infinitive without to means that something is surely not true. It is the opposite of must be. The example is making the choice between the two locations cannot be easy for them. Certainly not, definitely not can also be used to talk about things we are sure about. The example is location 2 is certainly more convenient for the townspeople. The land price in town will definitely not be as cheap as location first. The next is possibility. Modal verbs might, could plus infinitive without to are used when the possibility of something happening is around 50%. The example is location 1 might be more attractive and where a new leisure center could be built. May followed by not can be used when something negative is possible. The example is they may not be able to profit as many facilities. The adverb probably not is used when the possibility is more or less than 50%. The example is land is probably cheaper there too. And the last is ability. We use can and could to talk about general ability to do something anytime you want to. The example is go on, you can do it. The next, when you next put on your clothes, you could put your other hand or foot into the garment first. The contracted negative forms are cannot and could not. Players who can use their weaker foot with proficiency are more valuable in a team than those who cannot. Thank you very much. If you have any question, feel free to ask. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.